What's good, T Squad? It's me, Keisha, and I'm here with a new Spill the Tea video. So we all know that Bre Tiesi and Nick Cannon's relationship is certainly one that raises eyebrows. As you may know, the two have a unique setup, with Nick having children with multiple women, including Bre, and being open about his polyamorous relationship lifestyle. This setup has sparked a lot of interest and debate, and today we're going to dive in and explore Bre's thoughts on sharing Nick with not one, not two, but four other women. Now, polyamorous relationships are often met with skepticism and even judgment, and when it comes to celebrity culture, the scrutiny is amplified. Society's traditional expectations of relationships are often based on monogamy, so when someone like Nick Cannon comes along and says, "Hey, I'm gonna do things my way," it can be shocking, especially to me. Add to that the fact that Nick is a father, and the situation becomes even more complex. There are those who praise Nick for being open and honest about his desires, while others criticize him for being reckless and irresponsible. But what about the women involved? How do they feel about sharing Nick with others? Well, Bre sat down recently and did an interview where she gave her thoughts and opinions on her relationships and lets us all know where she stands with being in a open, non-monogamous relationship. Let's take a look at what she had to say, and I'll be back with my thoughts.
I think, what was it about Nick? Because I think a lot of people say, oh my God, like this guy, Nick Cannon, he's had some incredible partners, should we say, right?
Yeah.
So, and then I see people joke, like, well, what is it about Nick Cannon? Seth, what is it about him?
Nick is the most compassionate, sweet, kind. He's so good at communicating, and I get frustrated when he came out and said he's like, I'm a narcissist. I'm like, okay, relax. You're a little full of your shit, but you're not really the true traits of a narcissist. But some will argue different, so I'll stay out of that. But good. I feel like he wants to make you happy. He taught me that I don't need to be toxic. I don't need to yell at you. I don't need to pick a fight with you. I don't need to balls to the wall. And he doesn't respond well to that at all. So I learned to be okay, you did X, Y, and Z. I don't like it. What are we going to do about this? And he knows that my tact is not there. So he's helped me over the years try to figure out how to communicate. But it was very it's a very different relationship. Even to this day, yeah, we get into it here and there about stuff or parenting stuff or whatever, but I've never fought with this man.
Interesting.
I've had one big fight with him ever. And that's it. And it's just so healthy and normal. And people think that it's not because of the surrounding factors, but I don't involve myself in surrounding factors. I involve myself in my own life, and the kids are welcome into my life and our life. And that's where I draw the line.
So when people say surrounding factors, I think they're thinking about the non-monogamy.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So at the beginning of the relationship too, is this a topic of conversation or not?
I mean, Nick's always been a playboy. Everybody knows that. He's always been that way. And I think that was kind of why before I got with Johnny and when we stopped talking and all of that was because I wasn't sure that I didn't want to give the white picket fence a try. I wasn't really sure what the hell I wanted. I was like, who am I? What am I doing? I reinvented myself 1,000 times. Let me figure it out. So right. I did take a step back from Nick, and I did get with Johnny, and I was like, oh, this is not what I want. So then I kind of ended up naturally coming around Nick full circle again. It wasn't hey, I'm single, So I was like, you know what? Out of everyone I've ever been with, this is the most me that I get to be.
Interesting.
And that's what I loved about him the most, is he allows you room to be you. And he says it all the time. I'm going to always trust you're going to be you. And if he does disrespectful shit, it's just him being playboy Nick. He's not intentionally going out of his way to be nasty or, any of those things that a lot of men do in relationships. I have never seen that with him.
That's
ever.
Fair. That's fair.
So
now it's interesting because you're saying he's playboy Nick, right?
I always call him that, yeah. Yeah.
And you said you knew this.
Yeah.
When even after your divorce, you came back, you knew this.
Yeah.
Right. So does that mean, do you ever, because I'm just, and this is me genuinely curious about non-monogamy.
Okay.
Is because I'm in a monogamous marriage. And I think, okay, in order for non-monogamy to work, there needs to be a high level of communication.
Yes.
A high level. So did you communicate early on? Like, okay, here's what our relationship is going to look like.
Yes and no. It's more of like, I'm not going to ever be able to give you the white picket fence, but this is what I'm willing to do. This is what's going to make you happy. Like, I can always communicate with him and tell him, I want more time. I want this. I want to go here. I want to do this. Like, and he's like, okay. It's literally that simple. So I don't think that we necessarily set any sort of like structure per se around how we were going to move. But I would like to think in our entire relationship, we've really been very thoughtful of each other and how we move and what we do, and really try not to cause any issues. But I mean, again, relationships have ups and downs, and when there's other people involved, And there are other people involved. Yeah.
So are you then aware of other partners before the other partner?
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah, for the most part. I mean, I'm not like checking your following and seeing where you're going and asking who this girl is and all of that stuff. I'm kind of like I see this. Is this a situation? Like, what are we doing here? And that's if I even choose to bring it up, honestly. But he's been decent about like, obviously I know the kids are coming. I know all those things, but I really try to just mind my own because it's not something that truly bothers me. So why am I spending my energy and my time talking about it and asking you questions about it and making this whole thing up if I don't really care? I don't really see the point. I'm not threatened because I know what my relationship is. And I know that no matter what, you will never have with anyone else what you have with me. So I'm just not like, oh, was she prettier than me? Like what am I going to ask you? I just don't, as long as you're honest with me and whatever, if, I don't know. We haven't really like crossed anything that we'd have to like.
Is there any level of jealousy?
I think I've gotten jealous about like maybe, I'm trying to think, maybe like holidays. Holidays are hard, right? Yeah. I'd be like, okay, well, if you're going to do this, can you take Leggy? And it's not for me. I'm not jealous. Say they go on a trip and I'm like, well, that would have been nice. Couldn't you have just brought Leggy with you guys? Like, I'm looking more out for him per se. And I just really, because I care and I want him to have the relationship with his siblings. And I know at some point Nick will be able to take the kids and do what he wants to do with just the kids and make it more of like a family unit. They're just young right now. So they don't really interact as much. Right. But I think that's the only thing that I'm like, I just want to make sure that I'm keeping the door open and that everyone involved is happy. And so our kids can have a relationship because you don't have to like me. We don't have to have a relationship. I don't need to at all. But I want you to know that I genuinely love and accept your kids and they're welcome in my home. And like, I do gift baskets for every season and I'm like presents and birthdays. And I'm like, this is from Legendary. Like this isn't from me. So I just want to make it to where there is never an issue between the kids, exactly. First and foremost, And
that point that you just made is a question that I see comes up all the time, right? Yeah. Everyone is like, okay, are all the ladies, are all the women, are they all cordial? Do they all get along? I
think we need to.
And I was thinking, so there's five. So Nick has children with five women, right?
Yeah.
5 different women. So is there a conversation? Is there?
I've been cool with majority of the women. I mean, obviously there's emotions involved and I can't help how other people feel, but like if I'm invited, if you are okay with me being around, like I will happily bring Legendary. I will come and say hi, I will drop a gift, I will leave him and I will come back. Like I don't need to like stay and ruin your time. Like you guys all be together, but I want to make it as easy and as pleasant as possible so that you don't feel uncomfortable with your child around me or around my home and with my kid, So that's my main thing where I'm like, I don't want it to either be where other people have more children. He feels like, well, I have to do this here and I can't do this here. Like I want to make it as easy as possible for the kids. Because for me personally, I don't give a shit. I'm like, I'll go on my own trip.
So does this relationship allow you to have other relationships?
If I choose to, yeah. I'm not in a place that I want to deal with anyone or anything. I'm barely dealing with myself and my kid. I'm like, literally, please, God, I just want to be alone on a beach with a margarita. And that's all I want. Like, I couldn't even fathom dealing with another human right now.
Gotcha. But you could, though.
I could. Yes, absolutely.
And that would mean just having a conversation with Nick.
Absolutely.
And keep the communication.
I'm sure you wouldn't like it, but, you know, I can do what I want to do. I just don't. I'm too tired.
Yeah.
There's too much going on. Maybe in a few years.
Yeah.
Like the person in the comment section on Gossip in the City wrote, she want to be the head baby mama so bad. She want to be the bottom B so bad. Oh my God. First of all, I want to address her saying that he's not a narcissist and that it, you know, bugged her when he said that when he sat down with Dr. What is her name? Dr. Chanel. You know, the doctor that was on Basketball Wives and Teen Mom or whatever. And, you know, he revealed in that conversation that he's a narcissist or whatever the case may be. And she was like, he doesn't have the true traits of a narcissist. Ma'am, any man that has purposely slept with 5 different women and bore, 10 children out of them has narcissistic behaviors. Like, what are you talking about? That is the true definition of when a person shows you who they are, believe them. Like, this man has said to you, the world, that he is a narcissist, and you like, no, he's not. No, don't believe him. So if he says I'm a thief and then steals from you, you're going to still say, he's not a thief. He just took it for a second. He going to bring it right back. Like, what? He has told you who he is. You better believe it, ma'am. Like, what are you doing? Then she says that she doesn't involve herself in his other relationships. You're not going to tell me that they don't all get jealous of each other, that they don't all wonder and inquire certain things about each other. It has happened. You're not going to tell me it has not. She want to be so cool and unbothered, but ma'am, that can't be true, because just like she said, if he pop out with somebody, she'll be like, oh, well, what's this about? Da 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 da. That is involved. If y'all in a non-monogamous relationship, you shouldn't even be asking him nothing about who he dating and who he seeing. That's what non-monogamy means. You know what I'm saying? So if he get one of these hoes pregnant and they popping out with another kid, you mean to tell me you not gonna ask any questions about that? If he decides that tomorrow he wants to be in a more committed relationship with one of them, but continue to be monogamous with the rest of y'all, then what? Like, you're full of shit. Then she says that, you know, she has asked for more time, especially like during holidays and stuff like that. So I wonder, like, do they have days? Like Monday and Tuesday he with her, Wednesday and Thursday he with one of the other ones, Friday he with one, Saturday he with one, Sunday he with one. Like, how does this work? How does he spend his time with these women? Now, I remember during Halloween, because I forgot that I followed Nick Cannon on Snapchat, and I remember on Halloween last year, like, he was going from house to house being with the kids on the holiday. Now, I do remember him having her son with him like the whole day. Like, the little boy was going with him to the other kid's house or whatever. So she was saying the truth about how she doesn't mind her son going and spending time with his other siblings or whatever. But, like, it gotta make you feel some type of way that on Christmas he can only come over for like an hour and be with you and your baby, because then he got to run over to the other kid's house to make sure he with them. Then he got to go to the other kid's house. Like, that's crazy. He can't even be with you the whole day for a holiday and stuff like that. So you can't tell me that when holidays come up, it doesn't bother you. And like she said, yeah, the kids are small now, but they all getting big to the point they all about to be in school at the same time, because like 4 or 5 of them were born like the same year. So like, what are y'all gonna do when these kids go to school and they start doing after school activities, and he got to come to this kid baseball game, this girls ballet, this one's event. Like, he's not gonna be able to clone himself and be at everything, because there's gonna be times where he's gonna have to pick and choose a kid. And then it's really gonna get messy, and then y'all mamas is really gonna start having attitudes because, oh, so you decided to go to that kid event but you couldn't come to this one, or you always going to her events but you can't never come to this one's event. Like, it's going to be some overlapping here, very, very, very much so. It's gonna be a problem. And then y'all not considering the fact that these kids are gonna get bigger and start asking questions. Y'all don't think that they gonna get teased when they go to school about stuff like this? You know what I'm saying? These things and the decisions that y'all are making will affect these children. You don't think that these kids are going to get teased about the fact that they dated and had all these girlfriends and slept with all these women and got all these kids, and you got brothers and sisters at the same age with different mamas? Like, this is ghetto. I don't care how racially ambiguous you heifers are, or the fact that you're Cuban or Mexican or whatever. Like, y'all ghetto. Y'all real ghetto for this. Really ghetto. And then when she says that, she gets jealous, like, for her son for the holidays, girl, it ain't just about your son. It's about you too, because you're supposed to be one of his women. Y'all supposed to be in whatever type of relationship y'all are. You're not going to tell me that on holidays, when he can only come see you for an hour or two and then he got to run off to the other girl's house, that you're not feeling some type of way, and it ain't got nothing to do with your kid. Girl, stop. And then she lied because she said that she don't want to deal with anyone else right now because she's so busy and she's so tired. Yeah, I can see other people, but I just don't want to. Now, I've been holding on to this story since 2023, and I'm glad that I held on to it in my drafts because I was waiting for more to come out. But in September of 2023, the Shade Room posted this article about what Bre had to say about dating other people and how Nick would actually feel. Now, according to the Shade Room, during the season 7 premiere of Selling Sunset, Bre opened up about the matter while dining with her castmates. After going around and chit-chatting about their love lives, Bre was put on the spot and asked whether she'd be open to pursuing a serious relationship with someone. This question came after Bre expressed some unsureness over whether she was single and looking or not. I love Nick. I'm happy with my relationship, however that is. And like, if I date, I date. With Bre's commentary, some of her co-stars wondered if Nick would take issue with her dating. In turn, Britt coyly responded, I don't know, maybe. After castmates Chriselle Strauss called the stance not fair, Bre elaborated, noting that she would never disrespect Nick. I mean, I do what I want to do, but I still would never disrespect Nick. I just wouldn't. And even with his situations and stuff, I've always been nothing but respectful of that. I know people don't get it, and I don't care that people don't get it. Chriselle summed Bre's stance up as a new age power position. And she don't think he narcissistic? Girl, he got y'all over there trained. Well, I'm not going to even say y'all. I'm going to say you, because you the only one that's always speaking out. Have you noticed that the other baby mamas don't say nothing? Bre stay in the interview. You know she's on Selling Sunset. I personally can't stand the bitch. I cannot stand her. But what you mean you would never disrespect him? What? So it's okay for him to be in a non-monogamous relationship, but basically you can't go see other people because you know he ain't gonna go for that. You know dang on well he is not going to be okay with y'all seeing other men. He's simply not. And then the fact that you saying that you would never disrespect him, but he can openly see other women and bear children with them. Y'all are, your brain is warped, ma'am. Maybe it's all the plastic surgery and everything. Because remember in the interview that I just showed you guys, with the gentleman in the beginning of this video. She said, you know, I've reinvented myself several times. She literally has, because the original Bre and this Bre are two totally different people. Okay? Two totally different people. She looks like a totally different person. So will the real Bre please stand up? You know? But I mean, what's good for the goose is good for the gander. If they love it, I like it. Okay. It obviously is working for these young ladies, but the standards are not fair on both sides. Nick can do what he want to do, and they gotta be faithful and open to whatever Nick wants from these women. That's what is coming across to me. Like, they're doing all the sacrificing and he gets to be Playboy Nick. Girl, bye. And Nick Cannon, of all people, this corny girl, goodbye, people. Goodbye. And at the end of the day, like it's been said, he is created all of these broken homes because at the end of the day, he's only one person and he can only stretch himself but so thin. He already has health issues, and you done had all of these children, and you're not going to be able to spend the time with them as you would like to or want to, because they're not all under the same roof. So it's easy now because they're kids, they're toddlers. But once again, what are y'all gonna do when these kids get older and older and older? Y'all ain't thinking about that. Y'all just thinking about what's going on right now and how it's benefiting and working for y'all. Y'all not thinking about these kids. And those are the people who are going to really struggle and be affected by all of this. Ugh. Y'all let me know down below in the comment section what y'all think about this fiasco. Let's talk about it. Please make sure to thumbs up this video, subscribe to my channel, and turn on your post notifications so you know my videos drop. I love you guys, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye.